What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis, your coach of the Helsinki Dragons, and we are back for the APA Academy Week 5 battle when we go up against MattOshea and his team being the Montreal Milotics. His YouTube channel will be down below in the description, so make sure to check him out. And the matchup that we have in hand for us for this week, you can see above my face cam. So let's go very briefly my team of 6 that I'm bringing with the set and items, and then we just jump into the battle in itself. So we are starting this off yet again per usual with our Gigamax Gengar, and this time around we are running Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam and Destiny Bond. Destiny Bond is there not only provide that last ditch effort to take something down with us in a regular form, but more importantly is there to provide me a max guard in the Gigamax form to burn out a potential turn from his own Gigamax Alcremie, which is a low-key a pretty big threat with Fairy and Psychic coverage versus me. So off the chance I need to burn out one of his turns with my own and slow it down a little bit, I can do that and proceed from there. So that's going to be the Gengar in itself. And then as usual, we are also bringing Choice Scout Hydreigon. It's kind of like our little thing going on right now during this season until I make some changes, and that's gonna happen sooner than later. But I'm waiting on one particular person that what he decides to do before the trade deadline ends, before I actually make my changes. So until then, I'm probably gonna be forced to run Choice Scout Hydreigon as often as I have, but in this matchup it doesn't hinder me too much because it provides me speed control over Alolan Person, Terrakion and Jirachi, barring them being Choice Scout themselves, and it provides me something to revenge skill a +1 Haxorus in itself too. So that's gonna be the Hydreigon, just dual staff, Flash Cannon and U-turn, nothing too special there. And then we are bringing a physical defensive Qwilfish, which was a pretty big MVP for us last week, and hopefully he can do a similar job this time around. But we are running this time around a Shuckleberry on it, and you're gonna notice that 3 of my members this week are running reducing items, because that's how big of a threat Terrakion is versus me. So I have Shuckleberry just in case of that. It can also help me dealing with Blastoise if it's a Shell Smash and a physical variant with Earthquake. I can take that hit a lot better, and I also have Haze to kind of deter his setup, because he has a lot of setup threats and he hasn't shied away to try to utilize that during this season. So I figured that Haze would be smart to have on it. Liquidation is there so I can actually hit the Terrakion back with it, and Toxic Spikes are really nice because his grounded poison type is Roselia, which he hasn't brought yet thus far this season, and unless he's really worried about me bringing T-Spikes yet again like I did last week versus my opponent, that's honestly better for me if he does that, cause then he's leaving one of the bigger threats which he could bring otherwise versus me if he sacrifices the slot on his team for Roselia. So ideally, either way, I should be in a good shape. Either I do get the T-Spikes off and get a lot of things affected by them, or he's going to be forced to bring his immunity, and then I'm basically battling 5 threatening mons, and then I have to somehow bypass the Roselia, which I think I will have the tools to still make that work. So that is going to be the Qwilfish, and then we are bringing a Chopo Berry Cobalion with Iron Head, Thunder Wave, Stealth Rocks and Volt Switch. So I wanted to bring a Stealth Rocker this week, and from the ones that I have, I figured that Cobalion kind of provides the role the best without to be hindered by anything in that matchup, because Mamoswine will be also brought into this matchup, but I rather attack with it instead of getting the rocks up. So Cobalion will provide that for us, get those hazards up for us. We have Iron Head just as our only stab move this week. We have Thunder Wave to slow things down like Jirachi, so it will be outsped by Mamoswine, ideally thanks to that. And then we also have a Volt Switch to gain a momentum if I need to get myself out of there and go from there. And then the Chopo Berry is there for the Terrakion, so ideally as he goes for a close combat, his defense goes by 1 stage, down for 1 stage, and then the Iron Head should be able to kill it either straight out, or the T-Spikes will be picking it off after the huge hit he has to take from me. So that's going to be the Cobalion, and then we are gonna be bringing our Saltvest Hatrini, which hasn't shown up in a couple of weeks, but now it's back again, and we are gonna be running Psyshock, Dazzling Gleam, Mystical Fire and Nuzzle. This is another way for me to slow down the Jirachi for my Mamoswine, which is going to be the final member of the team. This can also deter Sticky Webs from Vikavolt, which he has brought quite often. throughout the season, and that was something that I have to keep in mind, that how do I want to deal with it. Do I bring a defoker to get rid of them? Do I bring sticky webs of my own to kind of neutralize the field? Or do I bring my magic bowser in Hatrini? And I figured that Hatrini might be the best bet to go about it, because I don't want to remove the hazards which I'm getting up. And I figured that the Hatrini with Assault Vest can actually lure into Jirachi, guarantee me the Nuzzle, so if Cobalion doesn't get the chance to do that, at least this will be able to do it as well. It can take hits from Special Blastoise quite well as well, and it can also take hits from the Alcremie, especially in a G-Max form, which might turn out to be a pretty important if this thing kind of neutralize the 3 turns that it's going to be having in the G-Max form. So that's going to be the Hatrini, and then the final member of the team is going to be our MattOshea, which is also going to be Chopo Berry, just like Cobalion, just to be able to lure in and kill the Terrakion, because once that thing is out of the way, that's a lot of weight off the shoulders from my rest of the team, not having to be spooked by it anymore. And then we are running just basically Icicle Grass, Earthquake, Ice Shot, and Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam is there for the Alcremie once it's outside of the G-Max, and I know it's already spent those turns, so then Heavy Slam is gonna doing butt ton of damage to it, so I have a good way to revenge kill it if it happens to have Calm Eyes up, and then my special attackers cannot take it down. I do have then Heavy Slam, which is gonna be doing like 74% minimum to a fully physically defensive Alcremie. So that's going to be the team, and now I'm gonna be getting connected with my opponent, and let's see how this battle is gonna be turning out. Alright, here we are with the battle versus MattOshea, and we should be good to go. The ones, just trying to kind of predict a little bit what I could see him bring. I think Terrakion will come 100%, I think Jirachi will come, I think Alcremie will come. I could see even Alolan Person to be something that he could use, either as a soft check to Mamoswine, or it's gonna be a soft check to my G-Max Gengar. I could see Vikavolt, and the last one will be either like Blastoise or Haxorus, or both could be in there. But those are kind of the most that I anticipate to see. But let's go and see what he decides to bring. Good luck and have fun to MattOshea. Hopefully we're gonna have nice solid battle, and hopefully you are gonna be enjoying it as well as we are going to be as well. And he's going to bring Blastoise, Golurk, Alcremie, Terrakion, Braviary, and Vikavolt. So he left some interesting mons in the back, especially like Haxorus, which I'm kind of glad to see not to be there. He brought both his Rapid Spinner and Defoker, so maybe he is quite prepared for my Toxic Spikes. But either way, what would be my lead here? I could try to lead with my Hydreigon, just to U-turn out of there. I could lead with my Quillfish. I could lead with my Cobalion. I could lead with my Mamoswine as well, because it matches pretty well versus Maturity. Or I could lead with my Hatrini. Braviary is actually a little bit scary, because I have Intimidate on Quillfish, and it could be the... Oh, it's going to be the Defiance. So I could try to lead with something that deals well with that right off the bat. So I might lead with Mamoswine right from the get-go. Let's see where it takes us from there. He brought a very different team, so it's going to be hard to tell what his end goal will be on this battle. But I feel like he is well prepared for my hazards, and the Braviary is definitely a little bit spooky that he brought it. I could have brought Stunfisk to deal with that, but maybe he saw that it doesn't have the greatest matchup otherwise, so he is trying to utilize that to his advantage. But let's see what is going to be his lead of choice as we jump into this. And he's gonna be leading out with the Vikavolt. Alright, so he's gonna be leading with that, probably trying to get Sticky Webs up ASAP. Which could be the case. And I'm gonna be just going into my Hatrini straight up. If he goes for a Bug Buzz or whatever, I can take that. Oh, don't be like this throughout the battle, that we are gonna be having a lot of lagging issues. But I'm not gonna be thinking about this play too much. I'll go straight into my Hatrini. If he goes for Bug Buzz or Energy Ball, we are a Selfish, so we can tank this pretty well. I have a little bit of speed investment, so ideally in turn 2 I do outspeed it. Also now realizing he didn't bring the Jirachi, which is pretty massive, but I do like that. But let's see what he does. He does go for the Bug Buzz right from the get-go. And it does good amount of damage. That could be even choice specs for all I know, but here I think I'll just go for the Mystical Fire. Not think about it too much. If he has any resistance to this hit in the back, I can get a special attack drop, but we do outspeed it. Thanks to our speed investment, we do over half to it. Get the special attack drop on it, so next hit won't be doing as much, and he's gonna be going for another bug buzz, but now it should not be doing as much to us because we do outspeed it. But he gets this Bedef drop, which is pretty massive. Which is pretty massive for sure. But I can Mystical Fire again, unless the Braviary would be scary if he would bring that in right now. So I could go for the Dazzling Gleam, which I'm gonna be doing, just to make sure that the Braviary doesn't get +2 attack while I would be going for the Mystical Fire. I can still take one hit from this, but let's see what he goes into. He goes into the Braviary, so I'm glad I did change up my moves right there. I could have gone for the Nuzzle, which honestly in hindsight could have been better, but I still wanted to hit the Mon what was in front of me. So that is going to be that. And now I have to kind of decide that who I go into. I could go into my Cobalion because it's pretty bulky. And I do also have the Choppleberry, so I'm gonna be doing just that and preserve my Hatrini just in case, because it's nice to have a little bit of soft check to still to the Alcremie. It can deter the Sticky Webs to still go up if he does still pack them on Vikavolt. So we're gonna be going to our Cobalion. We should be able to take this decently well, because we have a lot of HP bulk and with our natural defense, and we take that quite decently, but it still did a good amount of damage to us, not gonna lie. But now what I could do is that I'll just get up my rocks here and just go from there and kind of deter this Braviary having any more freedom to come in for free. So I'm gonna be doing just that and see what he's gonna be reacting on this. He could go into the Golurk, or he reveals to be a choice golfer on this Braviary. So this is gonna be doing a lot of damage to us, and he's probably gonna be taking us down. But I do get up my rock, so this Braviary is gonna be pretty much getting a trade-off with this Cobalion. And now I have to think about do I wanna just remain to stay in here? Do I want to preserve this, or do I preserve the Hatrini at this point? I think at this point I want to preserve the Braviary, so I go for the Thunder Wave off the chance he does something else. But this is gonna be a tough turn, but at least the Braviary is now gone. That was a huge threat to me. Or it's going to be gone after this following turn, because I can go into something else that does outspeed it, like my Hydreigon. I could also go into my Mamoswine to Ice Shard it, but I think Hydreigon overall should be solid, because I can pretty much lock myself into Flash Cannon at this point. So I'll be doing just that and go from there. But Braviary was definitely a good bring from his behalf. Good call on his prep to bring it, because it definitely put some pressure onto me right from the get-go. I definitely want to just go for the Flash Cannon. If he goes into Blastoise, so be it. But I think that should be my best call right here. I could go for the Dark Pulse, but that gives Terrakion +1 boost. I'll go for the Flash Cannon. If he still preserves this, so be it, but I would like to think that he doesn't preserve it and he lets it go, so he knows that I am Choice Scout. So this gives an opportunity to him to go into Blastoise, which is a little bit spooky. And because of that, I might have to hard swap into my either Hatrini, or I go into my Quillfish because it has the haste. But I might want to preserve the Quillfish for the Terrakion still, because one of my Choppleberry users is already down in Cobalion. So that's pretty much that. I would anticipate his 100% play would be the Blastoise on this turn. He could also go into Vikavolt, because I am locked into Flash Cannon and he knows it. But he does go into his Blastoise, which is understandable. And now I have to make the decision that who do I want to go into on this point. Again, the LAN connection is a little bit slower paced, which is not ideal. But I go into Hatrini. If he Shell Smashes, I at least get to tell on the following turn if he's physical or special. At this point, if he's actually special, he might be actually sweeping me, which is kind of scary. I do have Gengar, which can beat a +2 hit from it, but let's see. Let's see what he does. He is a Shell Smash variant, so now I have to hope that if he's If he's physical, I have Qwilfish with Haze and Shockaberry. If he's special, I have to bank on the fact that my G-Max Gengar can take the hit, like +2 Dark Pulse with the G-Max move. But this is a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie, he brought a very offensive team and it's working out for him. He is special set and he does go for the Ice Beam. We ideally tank this as we do, and now we get the Nuzlocke, which is huge that I get this paralyzation onto him, and now I can get some extra damage onto him possibly on this following turn. But the most important fact is that I got the paralyzation off to him, because now I can outspeed it with my other things. But now I do just go for the Dashing Gleam. If he gets paralyzed, that would be huge for me. But it's kind of shame for me to really hope for any kind of para hacks here. But I got the Nuzzle off, which is huge. And now he should be neutralizing speed. If he goes for another Sales Mass, as he does, so he is going to be again up to speed. So that's going to be very scary for sure. But I have to go for the attack here and hope for the bank that, or hope for the fact that I can still take a hit from something else, or he would get paralyzed. But I do kill it off, which is huge, and that's going to be Blastoise right there. I guess that I didn't know top of my head like what the calc was. Like if he would have lived that would have been really bad for me, because then he would have been back to +2 speed and then he would have been +4. But apparently the Hatrini is strong enough to be able to take it out with a -1 defense at that point, so that's pretty huge for us. He might have actually not been even White Herb actually, so he might have been -2 defense now thinking about it. So either way, we were able to take out the Blastoise, which is huge in itself, and didn't lose a mon to it, where I thought like for a second this might actually beat me down already as it is. Man, I haven't had a good week with my Blastoise. I'm just gonna say this right now. In my other league, a defensive Blastoise wrecked me up real good, and now he does go into the Terrakion. I do want to preserve this as a sack, because the G-Max Alcremie is still around. Don't be like this. We already had a little bit issues with the LAN connection, so we might have to cut out here if this LAN connection is gonna be staring at us like this. So I might be cutting out a little bit here and get back in. Never mind, we are back into this, so thank God. Okay, let's try to finish this battle. I'm gonna be going into Qwilfish, not thinking about this. The LAN issues, man. I never had a battle yet that has had these kind of issues, but I have seen other people having this in the past, and it definitely looks annoying, and I can tell right now that if it's gonna keep at this rate, it's going to be very annoying. But let's see what he does. If he does go for the Earthquake, good play. But I have the Shockaberry and Intimidate to get up on it. But let's see. I try to preserve the Hatrini, even though this could be a misplay, but I want to preserve a sack to the Alcremie if I can help myself. So let's see. We get the Intimidate off. Let's see what he goes for. He does go for the Earthquake, but I do have the Shockaberry, so we should be able to take this quite decently, I think. Yeah, we do take it, and we are gonna be at 1-4. So we took 40% from, well, not 40%, thankfully. It was 48 speed that we took. Is that choice scarf damage from Terrakion? That did, with Intimidate, that did 40 damage. That should have done more to me. That's interesting. So if I don't have a Shockaberry anymore, I definitely tank the next hit. So I might just try to attack what is in front of me. Let's see. He doesn't have to be fair switching to this, so it's better for me to attack this thing instead of trying to go for the T-Spike. So he does withdraw. Let's see what he does try to go into. He does go into the Vigavolt. Ideally, I do two-shot this thing, which would be really nice. And he is, yeah, he probably was choice specs because he took the Rocks Recall. So Qwilfish is going to get another kill. So now it's going to be able to have 6 kills in 2 battles combined, which is kind of insane. Qwilfish is on a hot streak right now. Let's go, Qwilfish. Okay. So that Terrakion is not choice banded for sure. He might have quite a bit of pull, because in my cogs of what I looked at, he should have done more to me than 40 points of health, even with the Shocka Berry on it, if he's like Choice Scarf, for example. So I have to worry about it to have more bulk than I would anticipate it to have. Because I do also have a Cobalion on my roster, as you saw, so I thought at first that if he's going offensive, he might be just very standard spread and not risk a speed, or well, try to risk a speed tie at that point if he can help himself, but let's see what he does. He has already lost his water immunities. Not water immunities, I meant to say water resist on Blastoise, so he doesn't really have a good immediate response to this. He does go into the Golurk instead, so I could try to get an attack off on him on this turn, or I could try to predict him and swap into something else, but at this point I could try to sack my Hatrini right now if I felt like it, but based on that how bulky that Terrakion is, maybe I don't need, like I could try to beat it with my own G-Max at this point. I have Chopo Berry on Mamoswine. I am Choice Scarf Hydreigon, but if he's Choice Scarf himself, that's tricky. I may need this damage on this Golurk, so I'm gonna be going for the attack instead. Try to chip him down off the chance he is reducing Berry. He is faster than me and he is Rock Polish, okay. Okay, don't be a weakness policy, that would be scary if you are that. Let's see. How much are we doing? We are doing good amount of damage, don't be a weakness policy, don't be a weakness policy, okay. He is not weakness policy. Okay. If he's Yahtzee Berry, he might live the Ice Shot, but like at this point I think my best play is to sack the Hatrini. I know I said that I wanted to preserve for Alcremie, but this situation turned out to be the case that I want to preserve my sack for this. And we are just gonna be sacking the Hatrini here, see what he does. Well, he's probably gonna be clicking Earthquake of almost. He does click the Earthquake. And now I have to make a decision that do I go back into my Wilfish to get the Intimidate off? Do I go into my Mamoswine? I'm gonna check the Golurk. If he has Yahtzee Berry on it, how much it's gonna be taking if he's... Let's see, Yahtzee. Level 50. He's taking like 22 from that, so there's a solid chance he would live that, but... I think at this point I want to go into my Quillfish to get the Intimidate off the chance something goes wrong. And with the Terrakion I do have the Chopo Berry on Mamoswine, so ideally Mamoswine can not only kill the Terrakion, but it can also do a solid amount of damage to the what you call it, to the Alcremie in itself too. So I'm gonna be doing this. Maybe it's a misplay, but I'm a little bit spooked about the fact that he might be Yahtzee Berry, considering that I have Mamoswine on my team. So I'm gonna be doing just this and preserve my Mamoswine's health and not being blown away by close combat, for example, if he were to be a Yahtzee Berry set. So I'm gonna be going for the liquidation. Bank on the fact that I lived this hit, because I did get the Intimidate off on him. And go from there, go from here. And if something goes wrong, I still have the Intimidate to revenge kill it afterwards. So then something else can definitely do the job. But come on, Quillfish, let's get another kill with you and be good from here. I don't know why he's thinking. Maybe his connection is being poor, because if he's thinking about this, I don't think he has much to debate. I feel like he should be just clicking Earthquake and let this thing go down and just proceed to bring another Mon in from what he has left. But let's see what he's gonna be doing. G-Max Gengar should be able to take it out easily. Okay, he does go for the Dynamic Punch, so he is no God set. Please don't get confused. Don't. Come on, Quillfish. You're better than this. You're better than this. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. There we go, Quillfish. Hell yeah. That's a 7 kills in 2 battles combined. Let's go, Quillfish. My kill leader right now of my team throughout the season is a freaking fish, man. Let's go, man. Holy crap. I think now the Alcremie is the only Mon. No, he has 2 Mons left. He has the Terrakion and the Alcremie. So let's see what he does here. Okay. This turned out to be very interesting battle. Only because of the LAN connection is making it a little bit awkward to commentate live as a live. But he does go into his Terrakion at this point, and So, do I want to preserve this or not? That's the real question. I could make a very aggressive play and just go into my Hydreigon. So I can lock myself into Flash Cannon. So I can preserve this for Intimidate. Because to be fair, I don't need it for anything else after this. Fuck it, we are gonna be a little bit risky here. Let's make the risky play, which could pan out for me, because I can lock myself into Flash Cannon from there, remaining on his remaining moves. So please go for Earthquake. Please go for Earthquake, that would be very lovely. Oh, he goes for the Rock Polish, okay. Okay, he is a Rock Polish set, so I don't know if you're Weakness Policy or not, but I'm gonna be dropping myself a Draco Meteor, just in case if you're Weakness Policy. Just to make sure that that won't be the issue, and this is gonna be doing more than Flash Cannon anyways. He does go for the Close Combat, he does now outspeed me. And at this point I just go into my MattOshea, because I know I have the Chopo Berry, and he is lowering his defenses. So we should be good from there, but he brought a very hyper offensive team. Yeah, I'm gonna be going to my MattOshea, because now I have Chopo Berry for this. He would be at -2 defense. I force Alcremie in a situation that he probably wants to G-Max. So yeah, we are gonna EQ. Alright, Topo. We have the Chopo Berry for a reason. Let's tank this hit and kill this thing. There it is. Come on, Topo. Take out this Terrakion, it's a massive threat to us. There we go. It's not a critical hit, and this is a very critical kill for us. This Spooky Asmore is out of our picture. Get that shit out of here. Out of my sight with the Earthquake. And that is gonna be taking that thing out. And now another demon is still waiting in the back. The demon itself, the ultimate cake of Alcremie G-Max form, is still yet to be seen on the field. And that is the last one that he has left. Oh boy. Him bringing this kind of hyper offensive team, it's always very scary to go up against this kind of thing, because you're gonna have to try to maintain the pressure that opponents is sending out to you and make sure that you get the kills while at it, and you're not just sitting there and be a punching bag and not proceed to anywhere. But thus far it's been working out for me. I'm so glad I put that Chopo Berry on my MattOshea. Jesus Christ, man. That got scary very quickly. I'm sorry, Hydreigon, that I had to let you like that. I thought, like, if his Choice Scarf, I can preserve differential with that play, and Qwilfish was still nice for that Terrakion if he got the play right with the Intimidate. And I still have Haste for the Alcremie in itself, so if it would try to set up at this point, I can take it out from here. But let's see. I think again it's about the connections. Like, there's no way he's thinking about this play. He has only one more left. There it is. There's the big cakes, the Alcremie. So I'm not gonna go for the Heavy Slam, because I would think he's forced to G-Max at this point. So I'm gonna go for the Earthquake. Guarantee damage. And proceed from there. If he tries to set up, I know I have Qwilfish in the back with Haze. So as long as he's not speed invested, and if he's speed investment on that thing, I would know by now if he outspeeds me. But he's gonna be G-Maxing. We should be doing decent damage with Earthquake. It's not gonna do a whole lot if he's fully physically defensive, and thanks to the massive bulk that every G-Max form gets, because they get the double of HP. But let's see, we get some damage off on him at least with this Earthquake. So let's see how much it's gonna be doing. It's gonna be leaving at 50%. And he's gonna be going for the G-Max Storm, so there's a chance that I can take him out with my G-Max Gengar from here, with my Max Ooze. And I know after this, like, even if he happens to live it somehow, I know that my Qwilfish will be able to take it out. So I think I'm gonna take the route to make sure that he doesn't gain too much health. Go into my G-Max Gengar, get the G-Maxes out of the field at the same time, and just go for a big hit. And that should be it. I know he cannot run a Reducing Berry, because we are forced to run Catching Balls, so unless he's very especially bulky, he can live this hit. But if that's the case, he doesn't have the physical bulk to take the liquidation after this. So this is going to be our play. We go for the Max Use. Hopefully G-Max Gengar can take out his own G-Max form, and this will be a 2-0 win. If not, I would like to think Qwilfish would give us a 1-0 win if it's going to be living in a slimmer amount of health, but this was one heck of a battle. No matter what, but now GFX is gonna hitting out the field out of the master board, of course, and it's going to be... The field might just be barely big enough for 2 of these things. Like, there's a huge ass demon coming out of the ground, and there's a massive cake. Enough for the whole ass audience out here sitting in the field as well. But we go for the max ooze. Hopefully GFX you get the kill and we can secure us a 2-0 win. And it's not. It's going to be very specially bulky alchemy, which is fair enough. And now Psychic Move probably takes me out because he gets the boost from here. Oh, he doesn't actually take me out. Nice. So because he's so bulky and he didn't get the boost up yet with Calm Mind, we do live this hit. So never mind. After all, we do get to secure the 2-0 win. I'm sorry that I'm kind of misleading you in some ways, but he gets the match card off, which is perfectly fine. I guess he wants to preserve one more turn, not to give the win in 1 turn, but like he's gonna be losing out his team max forms at this point, and I'm already +1 special attack, so we are gonna be getting this kill. And yeah, like this is kind of weird when you're doing live commentary and you have done cogs but you don't remember the top of your head. Like I have no idea how much that Psychic Move was going to do to me, but we get the 2-0 win. Great game to MattOshea. Thankfully it was in a Haxi battle from either of our sides. He brought a very cool hyper offensive team, which definitely kept me on my toes, and I had to always think that okay, who do I preserve on which point and how do I win the late game. And thankfully we preserved the right mons and we move on to go 4-1 and +14 differential for him. Good luck to MattOshea for his remaining of the season. He definitely is a good coach, so I can see him going to the playoffs. Make sure to check him out. He does very high quality videos, what I have actually checked him while I was preparing for him. So make sure to check him out. They are definitely worth to watch if you enjoy draft league content. But until we are back for our week 6 battle for APA Academy, and hopefully eventually I get to know who I play for the UBL semifinals. Until those battles, thank you all for watching and stay tuned for next week. And until then, I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.